You've been out and about quite a bit lately.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. We're still so lucky, right, to have gigs and
Yep.
shows,
Yep.
and don't take it for granted though.
No, absolutely not. Well, because I have been doing a lot of interviews with people overseas, and they're very jealous of us here. And
Yeah, I find it hard, you sort of want to talk about your gigs on social media, but you also feel for the people that can't do them.
Yep. So yes, so I saw you at Andrew Fagan, and then you sang background with Reb Fountain.
Duet.
What's that?
Duets.
The duet.
The duet.
Yes. Sorry,
Roses
not background, of course. Oh my
come
God.
on.
That was fantastic. Before we get into talking about your album, just tell me a little bit about that, how that came about.
Well, Reb and band have been rehearsing, getting the show together for such a long time, and I guess they were all ready to go a while ago, and then the lockdown came again. But
Right.
they asked me quite a while ago if I'd sing Where the Wild Roses Grow with Reb, and of course I said yes straight away.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's just such a great song, and
Yes.
it was also really super cool to kind of do a show. Well, I think they asked me to do it because they said that they felt like I could interact with Reb really well and kind of bring the show to a point.
Yep.
Which is what we did. We really
You did indeed.
We performed it rather than just sang it. I think it left a few people confused, but it was really great to actually do that, to actually perform a song.
Yeah.
Be quite theatrical with it.
Yep. That was a beautiful thing. I enjoyed it immensely.
Oh, great. I'm glad you liked it.
So when you do something like that, when you're kind of doing a song that is notable for somebody else, do you kind of have to take on a different way of singing it or a different persona within yourself?
Well, I try and sing it because I've done, quite a few shows like that with the Live Rust and the Abbey Road shows, all that stuff. I try and use my voice, but...
So let's talk about the album, The War on
Okay.
Peace of Mind. Two obvious questions that probably you've been asked by everybody. Why are you finally making a solo album now? And what is the meaning of the title of the album? So we'll get those out of the way fast.
Solo album was just why not? We usually do a band's album every couple of years. I suppose I've been meaning to do it for a really long time.
Right.
I was intending to do a solo album before I went to the UK, and I had a whole lot of songs ready to go, and I came very close to releasing one in Australia via a New Zealand record company.
Right.
And the Australian record company were really super keen. And they said they wanted to do a dual release with New Zealand and Australia because I'd done a lot of groundwork here. I'd done Everything That Flies and When the Cat's Away. I had a single on the charts for quite a long time called Something Good under my own name. So, and I had a whole bunch of songs ready to go, but the New Zealand record company said no. So I have no idea why. I was young and feisty, so I went, well, I'm going to go to the UK then, because I was just so damn annoyed. Because I felt like, what else do you need from me?
Right, exactly. And this, of course, was like, what, 30 some years ago, right?
Well, late 80s, nearly 89, 90. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I didn't really know. I mean, I could have just stayed and shopped around and got bitter and twisted and given up. But it was kind of good because it made me mad enough to go to the UK, and I'm pretty happy with things happening.
Right.
And of course, then I met up with Brett and we started bands together, and so I kind of, and also band stuff was kind of probably where I wanted to go once I got to London.
Right.
Seeing there. I love being in bands, so it kind of was never such a like I was just got busy doing band stuff, so I've never really focused on doing a solo album.
Gotcha. Until now. Fantastic.
Does it answer the question?
Yes, indeed. So the album itself is comprised of like 8 songs, which is a relatively short, a few amount of songs. But from what I understand, it's because you were thinking in terms of an LP. Is that right?
Yep. I really wanted to do an album that was to be listened to as an album, an LP. Right. And also, I once I'd got the 8 songs, I kind of felt, and then I Googled 8-song albums, and it just so happened, if you Google 8-song albums, there's some incredible 8-song
Really?
albums out there.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, there's actually an article about it. I can't remember what publication, but there's an article about it. And what I think it was is like in the late 70s, before people got CDs, they were making these really great but concise albums. And then when people started putting things out on CD, you could have limitless time to put limitless songs on. And that's when I think that all that changed.
Yeah.
So it just happens that, you know, there's some Iggy albums. Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town is 8 songs.
Right.
There's, I think Patti Smith Horses is 8.
Oh,
so it actually made me think, well, I love these albums. I think it's okay to do 8 songs.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Bruce and Patty.
I know. Well, all right, I'm okay. Cool. And also I did read that more and more recently, a lot of overseas current artists are starting to do shorter albums as well.
Right.
I think perhaps we put out more, but on shorter playlists.
Well, as somebody who reviews a lot of albums and interviews a lot of people, shorter albums are great because I have to listen to like 3 or 4 a day. You know.
Yeah, I know. I've been sort of having to do a lot of kind of groundwork myself, and I've been asking a few people to listen. I go, it's only short. Can you listen?
You shouldn't have to do that though.
Yeah. But I just did want the songs to be in those 8 songs to really say what I want.
Yeah. So a solo album, the songs that comprise it, are they different to you than if you were recording an album, say with the Bads or with anybody else, for that matter?
Well, I suppose the only difference is that I've written for all those bands that I've been in.
Yeah. But
I guess the difference is that I haven't consulted anybody else on the content.
Yeah.
Run it by anybody else first. And because it's from me, I really want it to be from my heart.
Yeah.
Whereas if perhaps I'm writing with other people, I'm conscious of the fact that other people may be performing it with me or singing it with me, that they may not necessarily agree with these thoughts, you know. Yeah. So I suppose in my mind, I wanted it to be kind of personal, but relatable.
Right. Now, the first song is called These Are the Days.
Yep.
It's kind of relevant for the fact that these are indeed the days. I don't know what days they are, but it also comes out, it opens up with some pretty heavy guitar playing at the intro. Yep. And I wonder if that was kind of a statement of purpose on your point, to not be kind of pigeonholed as some kind of, alt country folky singer and kind of come out roaring.
I didn't know that it was going to be the first song of the album, but I did want it to be a really strong sounding song.
Right.
So, yeah.
And these, you recorded this out in Cumul?
Yep. Tom Broom has a little studio on Millie Tabak's mum's property, just off State Highway.
Of course.
And it's a shed, basically. And he's built this tiny little studio there. And he recorded the whole album, and then I sent it off to the UK to get mixed. So fairly rustic beginnings to fairly flash endings.
Yeah, well, and you've got Chris O'Connor playing drums, Ben King on bass, Dave Kahn keys, Sandy Mill doing some backing vocals, and Brett
sings on Sandy sings on These Other Days.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And so let's face it, you've worked with pretty much everybody in the country. You could have your choice of anybody to play with. Why these guys?
Well, we started tracking just with Chris on drums, Ben on bass, and me on guitar. So we tracked the whole 8 songs just with us 3. So that was really a big difference for me as far as working with the Bads go, because it would have been a lot more people in the studio. And then after that, we got people in to do overdubs, and I did a lot of overdubs. But well, the reason I wanted to get Chris on drums was particularly songs like Losing the War and Peace of Mind, where there's a whole lot of really wiggy drum fills, and they get more and more intense as the song goes on. And I was kind of cheering Chris on, and he was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You sure?" "Yeah." I just wanted somebody that would be happy to play like that.
Yeah.
And he was. So, and you know, he's such an incredible drummer. He just has a certain thing that you know that he can really wig out if you want him to, you know.
Yeah, I've seen some of his jazz shows that he's been playing down at the Wine Cellar and stuff, and it's like totally different than everything else he's always doing. How does he do it?
Yeah, exactly. He gets excited by doing things a little bit beyond normal. Ben, you know, I credit Ben for more than just playing bass. He played guitar, you know, some guitar parts on the album. Backing vocals, he's doing most of the backing vocals.
Okay.
He's everybody's secret weapon, has been.
Right.
Yeah, Dave. Hilariously, Dave is now a keyboard player.
Yes.
Because, you know, of course, why not?
Why not, indeed. Yeah.
So he put his beautiful mellotron out and played a lot of mellotron out, and I do believe he got a little arpeggiator, and I think Rare Good Feeling is the first outing for that little baby arpeggiator.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so he played all across the album too, mainly on mellotron. You know.
Right. Very cool.
Few violins and stuff. But.
Right. Yeah, he's everywhere as well.
I know.
Yeah. Now, one song I wanted to kind of touch on was The Cynic.
Yeah.
You talk about drumming, there's quite the propulsive beat going throughout it, but also the lyrics are pretty interesting, and there's some noisy guitar in there as well. So tie it all together. Tell me all about it.
When I see the critic, I don't know what to say. If I have any love, they'll look the other way. And when I meet the critic, I have a panic attack. Once I criticized the critic, but now I take it all back.
Did you go from cynics to critics to narcissists?
See, I could have kept going.
Right.
I felt I could have gone. It could have been a Dylan-esque 27-verse song, right?
Yep.
But it's not my way. I thought I could just like keep going. Could talk about every type of person in the whole world.
Right.
But I left it at narcissist. I felt like that was the clincher, you know.
Right.
I wrote The Cynic lyrically about, you know, how sometimes you're with a person that may be cynical and you keep wanting to go, yeah, but no, but you feel like after a while it's tiresome, and you feel like you're just being really argumentative. You're not getting anywhere. You're never going to change them.
Yep.
And it's also says a lot about you, because you think, well, if I don't say anything, does that mean that you think I'm agreeing with you? You know, it's just a really weird situation.
Can't have that.
Being a peaceful person to kind of hang out with a cynical person. And then I guess verse 2, it just seemed obvious to rhyme. Sorry, there's flies here. That's why I keep waving to you.
Oh, I see. This is a whole new world, this whole Zooming thing, isn't it?
It's brutal, so it's like we get a lot of flies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seemed obvious to rhyme critic with cynic.
Right.
And I really like that verse, because it sounds like I'm talking about a critic who may be somebody like you, or
right,
music or whatever. And then it ends up with, I say, once I criticize the critic, now I take it all back. So I'm the critic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I quite like that. It's kind of playful. It's just a playful song. And really, I'm just trying to say it's really hard, because you judge people a lot, but everybody really just needs the same things, you know. We all need peace, love, and understanding. And that's pretty much what this song is. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick Lowe.
Yeah, exactly. The song.
Although Elvis
and-
wrote it, right? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And musically, I just kind of wanted it to be lean and mean and kind of, something like, I wanted it to be kind of like a late 70s Talking Heads type song, or
Okay.
in that sort of repetitive kind of feel. And I wanted it to have a gnarly little guitar bit in the middle, which I played and enjoyed
Cool.
playing.
Cool. So you got a tour plan behind this?
Yeah. Well, I've got an Auckland and Northland tour,
Right.
and I'm jumping on Greg Johnson's tour. And
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing May the 8th at the Wine Cellar as the Auckland launch gig. We want to have a bit of a celebration.
It's going to be crowded there, isn't it? That's the wine. You can do a bigger place than that for.
Well, I don't know, Marty.
I think so.
Another person said to me, but I have no idea.
I mean,
have no idea.
It'll be cozy, I'm sure.
I just like that. Well, I am really genuine in saying I just don't know who's going to come or who's going to come. So I booked the Wine Cellar because I think it feels like home.
Right. Fair enough.
Easy to get a really great vibe there.
Yes.
And yeah, being very, very honest with you here, I just really didn't know who my audience is.
So did you think about that when you were making the record and decided that to make this record, who your audience was?
No, my audience when I was making the record is pretty much me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one sale.
Yeah, I think that was one. Yeah, I'm going to buy it. No, I've paid for it already.
I'm sure you have.
I think that was one conscious decision. Was I really didn't want to think about radio. I didn't want to think about commerciality. I didn't want to think about trends.
Right.
I really just wanted to make a record that I wanted to make.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with that in the past where people have put kind of little hints in your ear of why don't you just do it this way? It would do well.
Yeah. More so in the UK when we
right.
After the Duda, when we did the Duda Dolphin, that was all guns a-blazing, and we just did what we felt, and it just happened that it did fit in with what was happening at the time.
Right.
Sort of indie rock, grungy, kind of pop rocky thing.
Yeah.
But then when we signed to Almo Sounds as the Boom Boom Mancini, we had the whole boardroom meeting, with people.
Yeah.
Just stroking their chin and worrying about what we should be like.
Right.
So good to have to do that. I mean, being your own record company can be really hard, as I'm feeling right now. It's so much to do.
Right.
It's quite stressful.
Yep.
But I don't feel like I have to do any chin stroking.
That's true.
What shall I do? I don't know.
So, has that Boom Boom Mancini album ever come out?
No.
I didn't think so. This seems like it might be a good time.
They come out. I've got some very good people helping me release it. So
yeah, because I've noticed that there's quite a few even reissues of stuff that came out in that era but never made it to vinyl, so they're reissuing it on vinyl anyway. So because everybody's kind of hot for
the
records.
The Julie Dolphin did come out on vinyl, and we are going to re-release that.
Right.
But it did originally come out on vinyl. But Boom Boom Mancini album never got released. So it's a really good record. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to putting that out too.
Boom Boom Mancini is a line from Warren Zevon song, right? Right. Yeah. Okay.
Warren Zevon song.
Yeah. So getting back to your record, it wraps up with a Rare Good Feeling.
Yeah.
Which, again, big guitar chords and stuff. And it sounds like you. Yeah. Do you play much guitar on it yourself?
All of it, except for I played all of the guitar on that song.
Really? Okay. Because you're surrounded by guitar players, it seems like. So.
Yeah, but I'm a guitar player too, so
Very good. That's a spirit. I love it. I would be intimidated.
I just double track my own rhythm guitar on that one, and that's pretty much, there's arpeggiator keyboards and things on it, but that's pretty much all my guitar on that one.
Very cool. Very cool. So have you been thinking about what you're going to do next musically after this?
Oh,
Okay, I hear you.
No, I just want to put this record out, concentrate on it. I think we're going to be hopefully doing the live Rust shows in Australia, which will be great.
Right. Thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll see you probably this weekend at the wine cellar or someplace.
Probably will, Marty.
Yeah.
But I was thinking at the wine cellar on Friday night, you know, it's great to have venues like that where you feel at home and
Yep.
you know that it's going to feel good and you're going to know people, and we're pretty lucky, I think. Long may it last.
We are indeed. That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a great day on the 16th on Friday when it comes out. What are you going to do? Anything special? Give yourself a birthday cake or something, or I don't know what you do.
Well, I'm going to be doing a live New Zealand live in the afternoon.
Oh, great.
And a few other radio things in the morning, I think. So it's going to be a busy day.
I'm sure.
I will exhale afterwards.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.